When Hot Wheels came out in 1968, they were billed as the fastest metal cars in the world. And Mattel gave us action sets to prove it. To keep the cars moving quick, Mattel gave us speed shops. 1968 and 1969 were pop-up playsets. But in 1970, we actually got tools to work with on our cars. The 70 Speed Shop opened up, revealing walls filled with equipment. The white ramp marks out the diagnostic area. And the pump island has a selection of fuels and fluids. The instructions show the contents that came with the Speed Shop. On the right, we have wheels, pipes, engines, and hood scoops, and they came in a variety of styles and shapes. The idea was to use adhesive pieces to attach the components to your Hot Wheels car. However, today it's the working tools that we're going to check out. A wheel wrench and a lube gun. We've seen the wheel wrench before. Every tune-up tower had one. But the lube gun is unique to the 70 Speed Shop. It's especially interesting because every instruction sheet from the early Redline era said, "Do not oil wheels and axles," because special racing oil had already been applied at the factory. Yet here we're being told to lube the car up. So let's check this out. I'm going to go with some Muscle Mania cars and find one to work on. Specifically, I'm looking for the slowest car in the bunch. To test the cars, I've got the Super 6-lane raceway. Let's find the slowest car. Here they come. And the Ford Torino is bringing up the rear. If we look at the Torino's undercarriage, we see the wheels are inset. And the entire side body of the car is rubbing on the wall of the orange track. If you look at any of the other cars, the wheels stick out and it's only the wheels that contact the track wall, a much smaller friction area. Since we can't fix the design, I'm going to pull the Ford out and replace it with a Vet and a Camaro. Now we have 6 cars to fill the track. We'll need 5 races to find the slowest, with the winner being pulled out from each heat. The Camaro lost 5 times, and I'm beginning to wonder if it can even beat the Torino. Alright, we've got our cars measured out from the fastest down to the slowest. Time now for some speed shop work. First, I'll make sure each wheel spins freely. Sometimes excess flashing from the factory jams up a wheel. All for a good. Unlike the tune-up tower, we don't have a treadmill to check for wheel alignment. That means we've got to do it old school, a road test. No drift, so the axles are good and we don't need to use the tune-up wrench. The lube gun, however, we will use. The instructions read, remove cap, gently rub tip around axle. Lubricant flows out automatically. Use a small amount only around axles. Now today, we've got a lot more choice. You can use dry lube like graphite or Teflon, or wet lube like synthetics. But back in 1970, Mattel probably used a light, highly refined white oil or mineral oil like this one. So I'm going to take the lube gun, open up the back, and load some racing oil in. I've got a syringe with 1 milliliter of oil. Next, the cap comes off, and there's a stiff fiber wick that becomes saturated with oil. It's been dry for decades, so I'll keep it pointing down for a while to let the lube move in. The wick is now wet, so here's some lube on the axles. And with modern cars, you can apply lube to the outer tip of the axle as well. I think the wheels are spinning better now. It's time to see what happens in a race. The Firebird is still the fastest. Race number 2. And there you go. The Camaro wins the second heat. Lube does indeed help. So there you have it, the 1970 Hot Wheels Speed Shop with tune-up wrench and lube gun. Making Hot Wheels still fast, still fun.